So, I wanted to do this book review right after I've read this book, but at the end I just realized that it was impossible to do so because I was crying the hell out of me. And I realized that I couldn't do a book review with that kind of feeling, so I waited, I pushed it back, and now I'm ready to talk about it. So today's book review is going to be about A Monster Calls by Ness, and this book was amazing. It was so good, and this book, I give this book 5 out of 5 stars, and if you follow me on Goodreads, you'll know that I wrote in this review that I wasn't able to put words into sentences for this book, so I was going to wait to make a video review about that because I just couldn't find the words yesterday. But now I am ready to do so. And that was not yesterday, that was some time ago because I'm pre-filming this. So basically this is a story about a young boy named Connor who's approximately 12 or 13 years old. He's having a nightmare, but he's having the same nightmare every day. Well, mostly every night, since he learned that his mother was ill. Then one night at exactly 12:07 a.m. a monster comes to, not really to his bedroom, but he wakes him up. And then Connor realizes that this monster particularly is the yew tree that is in his backyard. So he's really wondering what this monster is going to do to him, if it's going to kill him or anything. So he asks him what he's doing and what he expects from him, and the monster comes and tells him 3 stories. And these stories are really odd and they all have something in common, and the thing in common that they have is that there is no really bad guy in this story, because everyone was nice and bad in some way during the story. This book was also illustrated with really beautiful pictures. For example, this one. This one is really beautiful, and there are others too. Like this picture of the monster. This is so amazing. You can see that the monster is like they're really drawing like a tree, which is really amazing. So I really loved Connor's character. I thought he was really truthful to what was going on in his life, because he knows what is going to happen. He knows that his mother is more ill than what she says, and that she's going to the hospital, and that she is not doing well. At the beginning of this story I didn't really know what the plot was about, because that was just really odd at some point, because the monster was coming and he was telling him these stories, but I didn't know where that was going. So at some point I was like, okay, that book is great. The 3 stories that the monster tells to Connor are really beautiful, but I didn't know what was going on with these stories, and I didn't understand why this monster was coming to him. But I guess that it was a bit the author's goal to make the reader as confused as the character itself. So that was really great, because at the last few pages of the book I really started to understand what was going on and what was going to happen, and I was crying so hard, because at the beginning of the book I was like, okay, his mother will die, that's obvious, but you don't really know what's going to happen. Even though you're sure that it's going to happen, it doesn't mean that it's gonna happen. So I was really confused at some point, because I thought that she would survive, and in another time I thought that she wasn't going to survive. So that was just really playing with my mind, and I was so happy when I finished this book, because everything inside my head was just cleaned up. Everything was just set up and I understood everything in the book. But it's just at the end that you really understand what was happening, and that is just really great for me. I really thought that the monster was a really particular character. The way he thinks about humans, it was really amazing to see how he thought, because he's like immortal kind of thing, because he had lived for 1,000 years, I think. He was telling stories that really happened years and years before Connor was born. So that was really interesting to see all of these stories that really had happened before. The monster made me think a bit about the death. in the book Thief, because the death is actually the narrator of this book. So the monster is, however, not the narrator of this book, but it was really interesting to see his point of view of things, because it really made me think about the book Thief. So if you really love the book Thief, I would suggest that you pick it up, because it's absolutely not the same thing, but really the monster made me think of the death. So that was really interesting to see that they were a bit on the same page, these two characters that are really actually the opposites. So that was really interesting to see that. So that was all for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Goodreads. I'm gonna see you Monday with another video. Bye!